Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So this evening we're reading from the Bhagavad-Gita as it is by His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhakti-yoga Swami Srila Prabhupada. And we're on chapter 10, the opulence of the Absolute, text 26 and 27. Right? Okay, we're all ready? Ashvata sarva vikshanam devarsinam cha narada gandharvana chittarata siddhanam kapilo muni Ashvata sarva vikshanam Devanam Sananarada Ashvata, the banyan tree. Sarva Vriksanam, of all trees. Divarasinam, of all the sages amongst the demigods. Cha, and Narada, Naradan, Gandharvanam, of the citizens of the Gandharva planets. Chittarata, Chittarat, Siddhanam, of all those who are perfected. Kapila Muni, Kapila Muni. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Of all trees, I am the banyan tree, and of the sages among the demigods, I am Narada. Of the Gandharvas, I am Chitrarat, and among perfected beings, I am the sage, Kapila. Purport: the banyan tree, Ashvata, is one of the highest and most beautiful trees, and people in India often worship it as one of their daily morning rituals. Among the demigods, they also worship Narada, who is considered the greatest devotee in the universe. Thus, he is the representation of Krishna as a devotee. The Gandharva planet is filled with entities who sing beautifully, and among them, the best singer is Chittarat. Among the perfect living entities, Kapila, the son of Devahuti, is a representative of Krishna. He is considered an incarnation of Krishna, and his philosophy is mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Later on, another Kapila became famous, but his philosophy was atheistic. Thus, there is a gulf of difference between them. Text 27. Uchchaisravanam Uchchaisravasam Ashvanam Virimam Amritadvitam Airavatam Gajendranam Naranam Cha Naradhipam. I have to get another prescription for my glasses. I'm not seeing properly. Uchchaisravasam Uchchaisrava Asvanam, among horses. Vidhi, no, Mam, me, Amrita Udbhavan, produced from the churning of the ocean. Airavatam, Airavata, Gaja Indranam, of lordly elephants. Naranam, among human beings. Cha, and Naradhipam, the king. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Of horses know me to be Uchaistrava, produced during the churning of the ocean for nectar. Of lordly elephants, I am Airavata, and among men, I am the monarch. Purport. The devotee demigods and the demons, asuras, once took part in churning the sea. From this churning, nectar and poison were produced, and Lord Shiva drank the poison. From the nectar were produced many entities, of which there was a horse named Uchairava. Another animal produced from the nectar was an elephant named Airavata. Because these two animals were produced from nectar, they have special significance, and they are representatives of Krishna. Amongst the human beings, the king is the representative of Krishna, because Krishna is the maintainer of the universe, and the kings who are appointed on account of their godly qualifications are maintainers of their kingdoms. Kings like Maharaj Yudhisthira, Maharaj Parikshit, and Lord Ram were all highly righteous kings who always thought of the citizens' welfare. In Vedic literature, the king is considered to be the representative of God. In this age, however, with the corruption of the principles of religion, monarchy decayed and is now finally abolished. It is to be understood that in the past, however, people were more happy under righteous kings. Om Jnanatimandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakshram Ralitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Mukam Kotivachalang Pangum Lang Hayate Garim Yat Kripa Tadaham Bande Shri Gurum Dinataranam Evanchikapatubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Devacha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasati Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Here it's mentioned that Narada Muni, Prabhupada mentions, is the best amongst the Vaishnavas. Amongst the demigods, they worship Narada, who is considered the greatest devotee in the universe. Such a great Vaishnava. He made so many also, great Vaishnavas, like Prahlad Maharaj, and Prahlad Maharaj, Dhruva Maharaj. Great devotees, such a great Vaishnava. Throughout the Srimad Bhagavatam, there's wonderful teachings that are given by Narada Muni. He says, one verse, he says, an intelligent person will cultivate utter humility with his thoughts, with his words, and with his actions. And anything that gets in the way of that should be rejected. So, this is so important. This humility. And Narada Muni, he is the epitome of humility. Such a great Vaishnava for us to look up to and try to just get just a slight bit of his qualities. Ramanujacharya, he says that devotees should struggle to develop divine qualities. You know, the materialists, they're struggling to make ends meet. You know, eating, sleeping, mating, defending. They're struggling for these things. Devotees also struggle. But we don't struggle for these things. We struggle to develop divine qualities. We struggle to be devotees of Krishna. So this is our struggle, and it's to develop divine qualities. It's not easy. One has to be connected to Krishna, and these qualities, you know, Krishna has unlimited, wonderful qualities. So by connecting to Krishna, then we also can develop these qualities. Actually, these qualities are inherent within us. And by practicing Krishna consciousness, then these qualities gradually develop. Now here it's also mentioned in the next verse that the kings of the past, they were saintly kings, Rajarsis, divine qualities. Here it's mentioned Parikshit Maharaj. Now what was his divine quality? He was cursed to die in 7 days. And he was a king. He could have easily counteracted the curse. You know. But he thought, oh, this is Krishna's mercy. I know I'm going to die in 7 days. Now let me take shelter of Krishna. And he was so fortunate. He was able to hear from the great Sukadeva Goswami. And he heard so well that he is the epitome of one who is expert at hearing. You know, there's 9 processes of devotional service. So he was the one that was perfect at hearing. 7 days, 7 nights, no one slept. So not only him, but everybody there, they heard so attentively the wise words of Sukadeva Goswami. And Sukadeva Goswami was so wise that he was the most expert at chanting the glories of Krishna. So it's amazing, right there in that one assembly, there's the 2 that are best in 2 of the most important functions in devotional service. Hearing and chanting, right there in one assembly. Amazing. So, and we get to hear that also. We hear Srimad Bhagavatam, and we hear what Sukadeva Goswami spoke. So we're also very fortunate. Of course, we may not be able to hear like he heard, so attentively, but something that we can aspire for. So he was a great, great king. So then it's mentioned Yudhisthira, another great king. Now what was he famous for? He was famous, anybody know? Huh? Honesty. never told a lie. Such an honest king. A little bit different than our present president in America, huh? A little different, yeah. One person found found that 70% of everything Trump says is a lie. 70%. He doesn't have a good record for honesty. So this is Kali Yuga leaders. But Yudhisthira, so honest, so pure. Dharmaraj, such a great king. And everybody was happy under King Yudhisthira. And this is how to see if a king is successful in his kingship, or presidentialship, or prime ministership, if the people are happy. Now throughout the world, because there's no righteous leaders, there's no pious, honest kings or leaders. Therefore, the people, they're not happy. People aren't happy. In India, I heard over 100,000 people a year commit suicide. In America, over 40,000. So, people aren't happy. Now, soon we might have a devotee president in America. Everybody should pray. Hopefully that happens. That would be auspicious. Of course, because so much politics and there's already so much pollution, it would be hard to correct it the way we would like to correct it. Like, she couldn't stop the slaughterhouses. There'd be a riot. So there's certain things she wouldn't be able to do. But some things she could do. But yeah, King Yudhisthira, such a wonderful king. And then Prabhupada mentions Lord Ram. And he was the all-around best king. And therefore, even today, they say they want to have Ram Raj, the kingdom of Ram. Unfortunately, they want to have the kingdom of Ram without Ram. They don't want to follow Ram. They want to have the good results of Ram Raj, but they don't want to follow. So Ram, he was the best leader. It's interesting that now we have the appearance day of Lord Ram coming. Ram Navami is coming. Sunday, 2 days. So it's nice. I got the purport with Ram, so we could speak a little bit about Ram. It's interesting that we don't hear about the early pastimes of Lord Ram. The earliest that we hear is from the time he's 16. As far as books that I've read, although there's different cantos in the Ramayana, but for some reason we haven't got the Adi, the first, his early for some reason we're not getting it. One devotee we just looked it up in the internet, and there's a whole section of the Ramayana, the early pastimes of Lord Ram. But for some reason, we're not getting it. It's not translated into English. But there are. It's there in Shastra, the early pastimes of Lord Ram. This devotee mentioned to me that one of the pastimes, the early pastimes, was Hanuman. came to see, or somehow he got the association of Ram when they were young, and they would play together, Hanuman and Ram. So they met before the whole pastime of Hanuman retrieving Sita. So it'd be interesting, it would be nice to get that translated, because those, just like in Krishna Lila, the early pastimes of Krishna are so sweet, so nice, we relish them. So I'm sure the early pastimes of Lord Ram, wonderful. But what we get, we hear from our translations in English, that at one point when Ram was 16, Vishwamitra Muni, great sage, he was having trouble. Demons, they were disturbing the sacrificial arena of the sages. So he went to Dasarath, went to his kingdom, and he was received very nicely, and Vishwamitra Muni was very pleased. And then King Dasarath said, "Is there anything I can do for you? Just tell me anything I can do for you." "Yes, I would like to take your 2 sons on a journey, and it entails killing 2 demons that are disturbing the brahmanas, the rishis." And when Dasarath heard that, it was probably the worst thing he'd ever heard in his life. And he just didn't sit. He said, "They're my life, Ram, Lakshman, they're my life. So, but you made a promise." So he consulted with his wife. Wife's the boss, right? So she said, "If we made the promise, we have to." Of course, Vishwamitra Muni, he knew who Ram was. And Dasarath, Ram was his son. He didn't have a clear understanding. But before he gave in, he said, "Listen, I have a whole army. We'll bring my whole army. We'll kill those demons." No, you can't kill these demons. Ram can kill them. So then he went, and of course he killed these demons. And then of course the amazing drama of when Dasarath, he was getting elderly and he wanted to hand over the kingdom to Ram. Ram was loved by everybody. So news got out very quickly that Ram is going to be coronated as the king of Ayodhya. And everybody was so happy, except for one person. Who was that? Mantara. Oh, he knows. Mantara. Yes, she was very disturbed, because she was the servant of Kaikeyi. And if Ram became the king, then she wouldn't get so much attention, which means, Kaikeyi wouldn't get so much attention, and that means she wouldn't get so much attention. So she made a plan. Now Kaikeyi was also very happy. She was a very nice mother. She was like a real mother to Ram, and she was so happy to hear that Ram was going to be coronated as the king. So happy. So Mantara said, "You fool, don't you know what's happening? Dasarath has sent away Bharat. Now he's going to make Ram the king. Now he's going to be a nobody, and he may even try to kill him. Don't you understand what's happening? You have these 2 boons. So demand to Dasarath that Ram be sent to the forest for how many years? 14 years. And Bharat be the king. And she was swayed, Kaikeyi was swayed by Mantara. So she went to Dasarath and demanded, you owe me these 2 boons. You're a king, you have to be honest. And he was so honest, so much integrity, he was devastated. He was completely devastated. He fainted. Just upon hearing this, he fainted. And he said, how have you become so evil? She was the favorite wife of Dasarath. How have you become so evil? And she was so hard by that association with Mantara. See, we have to be very careful about association. Here she was, a nice mother towards Ram. That little association with an evil person changed the heart of such a nice person. So therefore association is so important. We have to associate with nice Vaishnavas whose interest is in serving Krishna. If we associate with others, it could be very detrimental. So finally Dasarathi had to accept and called Ram. And Dasarath told him, you have to go to the forest, 14 years. Your brother will be coronated as the king. And Ram, being the great personality, he said, no problem. I'm leaving right now. He was like that. No problem, completely detached. So, and then he had to go tell Sita, and Sita said, I'm going too. You can't go to the forest. You've only lived in palaces. How could you go to a forest? The wild creatures and walking on the ground. Your lotus feet has only touched marble. You've only lived on soft beds. We're going to the forest, wearing tree bark. You can't come with me. But no, my Lord, when we married, you took a vow that I am under your care. So you have to take me. All right, let's go. Lakshman heard, I'm coming too. They were inseparable. Lakshman and Ram, inseparable. I'm coming too. So now he had his closest companions, Sita and Lakshman. They demanded. So when they were leaving, all of Ayodhya is following them because they loved Ram so much. So much they loved Ram. And finally they were able to get away. While they were sleeping, they were able to get away. And they lived in the forest. They found some sages, lived with some sages. And there's a nice pastime where there was one lady, she was a Nishada, low race. And she was just going to get married. But part of the marriage was they were going to kill all these animals in the sacrifice, because it's low class, low race. But she was just appalled. Just, I don't want to have anything to do with this, because she was like a devotee. So she left before the marriage. She left, and she went and she wanted to associate with sages, and she wanted to get initiation, but she was from a Nishada race, so no one would take her. This low class. And then one sage took her and accepted her as a disciple. And she was serving very nicely, cleaning the ashram and serving her guru, and she was very happy, very happy. And then at one point, her guru, he was leaving the world, and she said, "Is there anything I can do? I want to go with you." She was so attached to her guru. No, you stay here. The Lord Ramachandra is going to come. He's going to come. And you serve him. And then you will come to me. So she was so happy to hear this. Anybody remember her name? Shabara. Yeah. So he left this world, and then she was waiting. Day after day she's waiting for Lord Ram. This is going on for years. Waiting. And then one time she went to a lake to get some water she was serving other sages also. And one of the sages was going to get some water from the same lake, but then he saw this Nishada is there getting water from the same lake. She's polluted the lake. I can't take any from there now. Polluted it. So he took a rock and he threw it at her, and it hit her leg, and blood came out. And the blood went into the lake, and the whole lake became bloody. The whole lake became bloody because of that. And he's thinking, oh my God, look at this Nishada. She's polluted. She's polluted the whole lake. This is terrible. What are we going to do? And when he told the other sages, what are we going to do with this Nishada? Ruin this whole lake. Well, you go to this lake every day to bathe and get water, and so now she's ruined it. And one of them said, Lord Ram is not far away. Let's go and get some assistance from Lord Ram. So they did that. They found where Lord Ram was, and they explained the situation. They said, okay. So he went to where the lake was. He put his feet in it. Didn't change. The lake didn't change, even though the feet of Lord Ram. And then they said, well, maybe if you bathe in it. When he bathed in it, it didn't change. And then Lord Ram asked, what happened? How did this happen? Oh, this Nishada, she was in the lake, getting water, and she polluted the lake, and one of the rishis threw a rock at her, and blood came from her leg, and that's what happened, These Nishadas, And Lord Ram said, actually, that blood was not from her leg, it was from my heart. Because she is such a great devotee, such a great Vaishnavi. And he told the sages, you go and you bring her here. And they found her and they brought her to Ram, and she was so happy. Finally she's getting the darshan of Lord Ram. Every day she's waiting for years to get the darshan of Lord Ram. So she offers some berries to him. And she told him, Ram, some berries are sweet and some berries are sour. So I don't want you to eat any sour berries. So I take a little taste, make sure it's sweet, and then you take that. If it's sweet, I give it to you. If it's bitter, I don't give it to you. So Lakshmana is there. You can't give Lord Ramachandra. He's the Supreme Lord. You can't give him your remnants. How could you even think like that? It's like, imagine if somebody's cooking here and they want to taste it before they offer it to Radha Syamasundar. You can't do that. Yeah. She was doing that, and she would taste. Oh, this is very sweet. Here, this is Ram. Take this, and he would taste it. And, oh, very sweet. So he told Lakshman, these berries are so sweet. They're so nice. And Lakshman's like, I can't believe this. Yeah. So such a great Vaishnavi. So this is what is so pleasing to Lord Ram, is devotion. And therefore, there's another devotee who was the best at serving Lord Ram. Who was that? Hanuman. Here in Vrindavan, we're always chasing away the monkeys, right? Always a disturbance. But here, the greatest Vaishnava, he's the best. The different, I mentioned to you the different devotional service, different 9 types of devotional service. So he is the best at serving the Lord. A monkey. A monkey. So we have to be careful with these monkeys. Sometimes we can get too familiar, but they're Brijabasis, right? They're born in Vrindavan. They're not ordinary monkeys, and so we have to be careful. The dogs, the monkeys, all these personalities. Who knows who they are? To take birth in Vrindavan means when they leave their body, where do they go? They go back home, right? So we have to be very careful. All these living entities in Vrindavan are special, very special living entities. Of course, Hanuman, the most special monkey, because he was the one that found Sita. Ram was so happy that he found Sita. And he brought Sita, where they had to have the big war. Actually, Hanuman was ready to take Sita. Sita, just hop on my back. I'll take you back to Ram. No, I can't touch a male. I can't touch you. So chaste, very chaste. She understood. He's a great devotee. Also very chaste. Just like Narada Muni. He's a brahmachari, but he preached to Prahlad's mother in a solitary place. Although he was chaste and she was chaste, but Sita wouldn't do that. No, Ram has to come and rescue me. So of course, the big war killed Ravana and so many. And then they went back to Ayodhya in this special Vimana airplane. And you can imagine how happy everybody was to see Ram and Sita after 14 years. And who was the happiest? Who knows who was the happiest? Huh? Bharat. Bharat was the happiest. He was living just like Ram was living. He was tree barks and just eating very simple, just leaves and just living like he was in the forest. And the king, while Ram was in the forest, was his shoes. The shoes were on the throne. That was the king. And Bharat would come every day and report, this is what we've done today. So personal. So, and then Ram, he ruled the world. Anybody know how long he ruled the world? 11,000 years. 11,000 years. Everybody was happy and peaceful. And no anxiety. Yeah. So, Now there's going to be so much Ram Katha. It's nice, wonderful. So this is another good reason that we should distribute books. If we distribute books, people get to hear about these amazing incarnations of Krishna. They get to hear about Krishna, Lord Ramachandra. Before I read the Bhagavad-Gita, I never heard of Lord Ram. I never heard of Hanuman. I never heard of so many incarnations, Lord Nrsingadev, all these amazing incarnations. Never heard. But when I got the Bhagavad-Gita, then gradually you get to hear about all these amazing incarnations of Krishna. And how many incarnations are there? Unlimited. It's described as many waves as there are in the ocean. And the most famous incarnations of Krishna, of course, Lord Ram, he's the most famous incarnation. Of course, Krishna, they're the most famous of the gods. Krishna and Lord Ram. I wonder who is the most popular. It'd be interesting. They're very close. Very close. So, any question? Yes. Devotee? Devotee? Oh, there's a microphone. Yeah.
So I was wondering if there are two sections of demigods who are devotees and
Well, there's Sakhama devotees, demigods, and there's pure devotee demigods. Yamaraj, he's one of the Mahajans. He's a demigod, devotee. Narada Muni. So many, there's many pure devotee demigods. But most of them are Sakhama. Means they're materialistic demigods. They have material desires. Prabhupada speaking, he was saying that devotees, he said devotees in our ISKCON society, they're also demigods. Devotee means demigod. Interesting. So, of course, we're trying to become pure servants of Krishna. And Prabhupada mentioned that they're even considered to be demigods, not ordinary personalities. Of course, we should never think we're demigods. We should always think that we're servants of the servants of Krishna. But yeah, to be free of material desires, that's a great challenge, even for the demigods. Very intelligent. Demigods are very intelligent. But to get free of material desires, to have divine qualities, not easy. Anything else? Any comment? Yeah.
You said Ramchandra ruled the planet 11,000 years. So he is the most, and Krishna was here less than 11,000 years.
Krishna was only here 125 years.
Yes, 125 years, and he was 11,000 years. Ramchandra. So the glorification of Ramchandra is more than Krishna. We see many of them chant Ram name more than Krishna. So,
Oh, is it like that in India? People chant Ram Leela more than Krishna?
yeah.
Is it? Oh, well, there we go. I didn't know that. So Ram would be considered more popular in India than Krishna? Is it? Oh, okay. Well, that's okay.
Went to Kumbh Mela, and in Kumbh Mela, everybody saying Sita Ram, Ram, Sita Ram, Sita Ram, Sita Ram.
Yeah. Well, you know,
Krishna's name was very less. Lord Ram and
Yeah.
Lord Shiva's name.
Yeah, you know, one of the reasons why, I'll tell you why, because Ram is just very, accepted one wife, and he was very good, and loving and good. Krishna, he's demanding, surrender, give it up, give up everything and surrender to me. People don't like that. People don't like that. Therefore, sometimes I distribute Bhagavad-Gita to people, to Indians. No. He wants me to give up my material life and surrender to him. But they're not ready. They don't want to surrender. So Ram never demanded. Krishna, Sarvadharmam parityaja mamikam saranam ahang tvam sarvapapatya mokshasyami ma. Surrender, give up all varieties of religion, just give up everything and surrender to me. They don't like that. But they're very unfortunate because they don't know that if they surrender to Krishna, they go to Goloka Vrindavan. They don't know that, unfortunately. So we have to distribute these books and let them know that this is the best thing they can do, is surrender to Krishna. Huh? Is there any difference between Ram and Krishna? Well, Krishna, he is the source of all incarnations. Ram is not the source of all incarnations. And Krishna has more intimate relations. Like with Ram, it's all in reverence. With Krishna, you can be a cowherd boy and you can play on his back and wrestle with him. You can't do that with Ram. So it's a little more intimate. The Ram is the original, but in the Srimad Bhagavatam, that is not stated. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. In the Bhagavad-Gita, Aham Sarvasya Prabhavo Mata Sarvam Pavat Iti Madhva Bhajantam Buddha Bhava Samadha. Yeah. So in the Bhagavad-Gita, also he says, I'm the source of all. Everything emanates from me. The wise who know this, they engage in my devotional service. What is that? Another verse? Anyway, there's many statements in Shastra. Yeah, there's many statements in Shastra stating that Krishna is the source. There's no statement where Rama is the source. Hare Krishna.
The first of the opulences mentioned in this verse this evening was a horse.
A horse.
The horse is very significant in Vedic culture because you have the sacrifice. But what is especially important about this particular horse, which I struck by?
Good question. I haven't a clue. I don't know. I've never read, maybe I have, but I don't remember why it's such a special. Well, it was churned. One thing, it was churned in this ocean. They were churning the ocean, and all these things were coming. So it must be a very special horse. And how the horse was used, I don't know. I have no idea. Good question. Okay.
So, thank you for the class, very inspiring to the other pastime of Lord Ramachandra. And you said that if the leader is a good leader, then the citizens will be happy. And it's very interesting to try to understand why is that. Why under the rule of the great king, people are happy, and it's a sign of the greatness.
Because they're spiritual leaders, and therefore they know how to manage spiritually. Just like Prithu Maharaj, or no, not Prithu Maharaj, Parikshit Maharaj, as it's mentioned here. He was a Rajarsi, spiritual leader. One person was trying to kill a cow, and immediately he's gonna kill him. You can't do that. That's illegal. You can't do that. So the Rajarsis, they knew what was good for society and what was bad for society. And therefore they ruled in that way. And therefore the people, they were guided by this saintly king, so they did the right thing. If you do the right thing, then you're happy. If you do the wrong thing, it creates anxiety. And for people that do the wrong thing, there's prisons, right? And there's a lot of prisoners. In America, there's 2 million prisoners in jail right now. 2 million. They're not getting any proper leadership. They don't know how to lead. The leaders don't know how to lead. They're not advanced. They're not connected to Christians. They don't know what to do. They haven't a clue. They don't know what to do. And therefore it's chaos. So, unfortunately, it's Kali Yuga, so it'll probably never happen where there'll be a Rajarsi leading a country. Unfortunately. Yeah, so they exploit so much. Embezzling. It's like so many countries, they get donations from first world countries. And the leaders in these poor countries, they put it in their bank account. And the poor people just continue struggling. So many instances of this. It's cheating going on. It's just terrible. Krishna consciousness is the only hope. Yes?
Sorry, but how exactly to understand this chapter, the opulence of the absolute? Like, for example, when Krishna says, I am Ruchishtrava, does it mean that this particular horse represents the Lord while the rest of the horses don't represent the Lord?
Yeah, because that's the best horse.
Because in the impersonals usually quote this chapter to say that everything is impersonal or everything is Krishna and everything is the same.
Yeah, it's personalism. But yeah, it must be a really nice horse. It must be very beautiful. Prabhupada said horses are the most beautiful animals. So it must be a very beautiful animal, huh? Horse. And it must be very fast. And probably doesn't get tired.
I think Prabhupada said the cow is the most beautiful animal.
No. I'll tell you, there's the pastime. Prabhupada was on a walk with some devotees, and there was a black stallion. And Prabhupada said, he looked at it and said, horses are the most beautiful animal. And the devotee said, Prabhupada, not cow? Prabhupada said, cow? Cows are ugly. Just, yes. Divine qualities.
So you mentioned about humility. So how can one cultivate humility?
The best way to develop humility is to serve the Vaishnavas. It's all about service. Hanuman became so great because he was such a good servant. Parikshit Maharaj became so great because he was a servant. Sukadeva Goswami, all the great acharyas. Prabhupada, he considered himself to be a servant of the devotees. Service. We have to become humble, menial servants of the Vaishnavas. Just like now I'm speaking. I should have the mood. I'm doing this as a service. But if I have the mood, I'm trying to enjoy my false ego. Hey, you're all there and you're listening to me, and I get proud. But no, everything that we do should be done as a service to Krishna, to the Vaishnavas. Service. Therefore, when we chant Hare Krishna, what are we doing? We're praying for service. Yeah. Okay? Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.